Hey, welcome back to the weekly dance tutorial. I'm Ken, and today I'm going to show you 3 tips that will help you improve your bopping. So, the main thing for bopping is number 1, dime stops, number 2, bounces or shakes, and number 3, ticking. So those 3 things will definitely help you improve your bopping pretty immensely because it's pretty much like a part of the foundation of bopping. Bopping is like the robot, but it's smaller and more precise. And there's definitely a lot of character that you can add to bopping because it's a very animated style. Here's the first thing you could do to improve your bopping. First, you want to practice stopping. Stop. Practice your stops. Okay? And this is what's called a dime stop. And the way you practice is you want to pretend like you're pressing the pause button when you're watching TV, you press the pause button. Or when you're watching a YouTube video, you press the pause button. And everything immediately just stops. Because normally, when people move, natural movement, right? When you say stop, somebody usually slows down and gradually stops. Okay, that's more natural. Like, because when you say freeze, you go, okay, freeze. But you see how I had to add a little like slowing down motion and then I stopped? With dime stops, it's a complete and abrupt stop. So that's the thing you want to focus on, okay? So turn on some music, play whatever songs you're comfortable dancing to, and pick a part of the beat to stop at. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4 and stop on 2 and 4, or stop on 1 and 3. For example, if you go 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you notice every time I stop immediately, and I don't go like and then stop. I just, whatever you're doing, it's like stop, stop, stop. It's like you try to stop as abruptly as possible. Okay, so practice that with some music, practice your stops, and try to do different timings as well, because this will definitely help with your dance in general when you practice timing and controlling when you stop your movements and starting your movements. Starting is also very important too, because when you start, you don't always have to slowly ease into it, because you can just go boom. The more mechanical you do it, it'll be more similar to a robot. But with bopping, remember, it's small, precise movements, okay? So instead, for example, of moving your arms like really big and continuous movement, you want to focus on just smaller stopping. Okay, so that's the first tip. Second tip, you want to focus on your shakes or your bounces. Okay, I'm actually not that heavy as a person, and robots are very heavy because they're made out of metal, right? So you want to imitate the feeling of heaviness, right? So when you add the shake, it's like, even though you're doing the abrupt stop, that shake is kind of like an effect that happens after the stop because you're a heavy robot, if that makes sense. The way I practice the shakes is based off of what direction I'm moving, okay? So if I'm going this way, I would bounce the opposite direction that I came from. So if I'm going from right to left or left to right, and I'm stopping, boom, that's where this is the stopping point right here. I'm going here, boom, and I bounce. But it's very important that you go the same direction because it just feels more natural, right? Because if the motion goes this way, and if you bump into something, you're naturally gonna bounce back the way you came, right? So pick a direction, go in that direction, and then when you stop, you bounce back, bounce, bounce, okay? It doesn't matter how many times you bounce, it really depends on how heavy you want to look or how light you want to look, because that's another thing. If I bounced and I just kept going, it's kind of like there's no gravity or no friction holding me back. But if you're heavy and you go and you bounce really small and quick, it makes you look heavier. So you can adjust the size of your bounce, and you could even shrink it to the point where it looks like you're just shaking. Okay, and that's another thing. Shakes is a part of the bopping style, right? And if you notice, I'm shaking only like maybe 2 or 3 times because that's the effect that I want to go for. And you could shake in any direction. You could go from here to here, 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 here. So if I go up and down, I'm shaking up and down, right? I'll do it in slow motion so you could see the direction. With the head, same thing. Boom, 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 like that, okay? But remember, if you speed it up, it looks more like a shake. And remember, if you practice the shakes and the bounces, it really helps bring out the character for bopping. So the third thing that I wanted to talk about that will help you for bopping is called ticking. So with ticking, there are 2 types of ticking that I know of. Ticking as in popping, but double timing it, and hitting, right? Because hits are different. You're tensing the muscles and you're shaking it like really intensely, and you're relaxing, tense, relax, right? Because that's hitting. But ticking, there's 2 types, right? So there's the one where you're hitting a bunch of times, pop, pop, pop. So that's like the popping type of tick. The bopping ticking is basically a series of dime stops, but it's happening in shorter distances, and it's imitating almost like a clock, a hand of the clock. So it's like, it's more so like this. Tick, 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 boom, 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 tick, 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 tick. See the difference? Instead of going pop, 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 you're going tick, 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 tick. Okay, remember, it's more precise and more controlled, and that is the thing that you're gonna want to practice in order to improve on your bopping techniques. Okay, so the way you practice the ticking is, first, I would recommend starting off slow and just picking one body part to tick at a time. Okay, or you can do both if you want to match, right? But I suggest just practicing with your arm and moving, and remember, dime stop. And you want to get from point A to point B in steps. So if this was point A, this is point B, you want to go stop, 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 stop. Okay, and then vice versa, if you're going reverse, stop, 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 stop. All right, and remember, you ultimately want to combine all 3 of these things together to become more advanced, because the advanced stuff only happens when you could get the basics down. Okay, so remember, ticking, tick, 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 is just like dime stopping, but there's a clear path and you're taking steps to get to a certain path, and you're breaking it up in little ticks. Okay, and use those dime stops, right? And you could also add little shakes in between as well, like okay, you can do all these things together to improve your bopping style. Okay, and those are the 3 tips. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any better ways to improve, because I would also like to learn them. And if you want to check out more stuff on bopping, look up Boppin Andre. He's like one of the best examples of what bopping is and what bopping looks like. So go ahead and check him out. He's got tutorials as well. I'll leave a link down below so you could see the tutorial that I've watched before on bopping. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you have any questions, message me at ken.poryatics, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Peace.